So I'm sure you've heard a lot about AI. It's huge right now. People are taking advantage of it, using it in their businesses for everything from data analysis, customer service follow-ups, marketing, bots to do chat bots and call bots. There's a million ways that people are using it for their business. A main way that it applies to us as a digital marketing agency is content creation. And people are using it like never before to create blog articles and images and all kinds of good stuff. So today I want to talk a little bit about what you should and shouldn't use AI for in your business. So let's just get the knots out of the way, right? Don't use it to create blog content, to create the articles. Like, don't just have AI spit out a 1,200 word article about a topic and then copy and paste it and drop it in and hope it's going to rank. Google's looking for quality, it's looking for uniqueness, it's looking for thought leadership, for new information. So you want to create blog posts that really have what Google's calling EAT: expertise, experience, authority, and trust. Essentially, they want to know that somebody who knows what they're talking about is creating this content. It's not just like removing sites that are using AI to create hundreds of pages a month just for the sole factor of manipulating the ranks and showing up. Now, if you're a small business and you create one article a month using AI, it's not going to be a problem, at least in the short term. I wouldn't keep it as a strategy, but it's not like you got to go through and delete all your stuff real quick because you're not going to get dinged. But you do want to focus on creating good content. I wouldn't use it for keywords. For keyword research, there's tools like Ahrefs and Google's and Answer the Public. Neil Patel's probably got 20 different programs out there that'll help you find better keywords that are worth targeting, right? And then when you pick a keyword, make sure you're writing about something that will be interesting to your prospects and try to give them new information. I think that's the key. New, good content. And then your old content, especially if you did write it with AI, go back and update it, try to keep it fresh. But anyway, keep the content that's written by AI out of it as much as possible. Use it for inspiration, use it for ideas, use it for outlines, right? But then write your own stuff and try to be forward thinking for it. Now, some of the things you should be using it for, like I said, use it for the ideas, the outlines, and the topics. Use it for social media text. You know, it's really cool. You can tell it how you want to sound, how brief you want to be, and say, okay, I'm writing a Facebook post about using AI in my agency. What should I put in there, right? And it'll write it for you. It'll drop in the emojis. It'll make it sound good. It'll give it a call to action. It'll give you the hashtags. So I think it's good for that. I would definitely check the content, try to make it your own, and check the hashtags. But again, it's good for that. Some graphic design, I would still use a graphic designer to create logos and to create content for you, but you can play with it, especially if you're trying to get inspiration, right? Like go in there and use one of the generative ones to create different images and then send those to a designer and make it your own and make it unique, right? Because AI is using other people's ability and ideas to create what it's creating, right? It can only learn from what it's pulled off the internet. And you want somebody to really make something for you that's your own. You can use it for video, right? I'll probably have, this will probably be chopped up into a bunch of little videos to share on social media. And there's some tools like Opus that are pretty good about it. I'm getting mixed results personally. I've been playing with it a lot, but it is an opportunity to take something that's 20 minutes long and then chop it up into 21-minute videos that you then maybe want to go through and tweak a little bit or whatever, but it'll put the captions in for you, it'll give it a style, might even put filters on it, so they're great for that. It's also really good for planning, right? If you're starting a new venture or a new marketing campaign, you can get a lot of ideas and inspiration from it on how you should approach that. So for example, you go into the prompt and you say, I'm starting a business that sells apples to different vendors. How can I reach these people? What kind of target audience should I have? If you ask the right questions, it's going to give you good inspiration. And like everything, the theme here is that you can use it to help inspire and give you ideas, but then obviously you need to build on them and expand on them, make them your own, do your own SWOT, do whatever it might be that needs to be done to make it your own, but it will give you good ideas and good direction and maybe come up with things that you didn't think about, right, that you can integrate in. So maybe you've got a 10-item marketing plan and then you throw it in there and say, hey, what are 10 other things I can do? And then you can go through them and see if there's a few you want to cherry pick and use from it. So it's a great tool for that. Color suggestions, image suggestions, if you write, like say you're writing a blog post or you've got 10 bullet points in some kind of a list, you can say, hey, look at each one of these bullet points and give me an idea of what kind of image should go with it, right? And it'll look at the text and say, okay, they're talking about this, so probably like, a person holding apples would be a good idea, or whatever it might be. It'll give you direction on what kind of images would support what you're doing if you give it the kind of feeling that you want and what your objectives are. And it's also good about working in call to actions, that kind of stuff. So it can go through and really help you couple what you've already written with good imagery or good ideas for a video or good bullets for a video, the outlines for it, etc. Another thing that's pretty cool that it does is if you have, say you're writing a letter to somebody, and you can go in there and say, hey, I'm writing this letter for this reason. This is the outcome that I want. This is the emotion that I want to convey. Can you please read what I've written and give me suggestions? And it'll read it and it'll come back and say, hey, if you want to, like you talked about this topic, maybe you want to expand on that, or this part maybe kind of is distracting, so pull it out. So it's really good at kind of double checking your work, proofing for ideas. I'm sure it'll proof for grammar and all that kind of stuff too, but I think it's really cool and it'll give you suggestions on how to reword things. And again, just take those suggestions and write it yourself, but it'll kind of tell you what things to add. So again, AI is super popular right now. People are using it like never before in their marketing, their content creation. Use it for ideas, use it for inspiration, use it to give you suggestions and to kind of support what you're doing. Don't use it to create your content from scratch. Don't use it as the sole creating for your content. Don't just have AI create an article and then just copy and paste it in. At a minimum, go in there and revise it and make it your own. But we would suggest just creating your own content and have it proof it. Use it for suggestions, use it for guidance. But definitely take advantage of it. There's a million other ways it can help your business that you should look into. But obviously, we're a digital marketing agency, so we're going to kind of focus on the content creation. And hopefully that helps. If you're using AI in your business, I'd love to hear about how.